everything that we do, even in our daily lives, it's very important to know what we are doing and why we are doing it.
What is a mission statement? Basically, it is a statement of what the journal is doing, and sometimes the reason why it is doing it. Let's take the mission statement of Current Biology as our first example. As stated, Current Biology publishes papers reporting findings in any area of biology that have sufficient claim to be of general interest. This could be because the advance is important for a specific field, or because it is intrinsically of wide interest to biologists generally. From that statement, we know that what Current Biology does is that it publishes papers that report findings in any area of biology that have sufficient claim to be of general interest. We also get that they do this because the advances that it reports are important for a specific field, or because they are intrinsically of wide interest to biologists in general. Let's take Nature as another example. Its mission statement is, first, to serve scientists through prompt publication of significant advances in any branch of science, and to provide a forum for the reporting and discussion of news and issues concerning science. Second, to ensure that the results of science are rapidly disseminated to the public throughout the world, in a fashion that conveys their significance for knowledge, culture, and daily life. What Nature does is to serve scientists with a venue for prompt publications of their research work. And we can see that they are doing this to ensure that the results of science are rapidly disseminated to the public throughout the world. Now, what is a journal's aims and scope? A journal's aim is the general objective or overall purpose of the journal, while the scope basically states how the journal will accomplish this. The aims and scope statement of the journal may include information like a brief introduction and description of the journal, an outline of the subjects covered, the type of articles published, its peer review policy, and other information including open access, publishing options, and many others. Let's look at Nature's aims and scope as our example. As stated, Nature is a weekly international journal publishing the finest peer-reviewed research in all fields of science and technology on the basis of its originality, importance, interdisciplinary interest, timeliness, accessibility, elegance, and surprising conclusions. Nature also provides rapid, authoritative, insightful, and arresting news and interpretation of topical and coming trends affecting science, scientists, and the wider public. Going back a bit to Nature's mission statement that what it does is to provide a venue for prompt publication, we can see here that it does that by publishing weekly instead of monthly, biannually, or annually. Now, let's look at the information about the journal that we can get from that statement. It is clearly indicated there that it is an international, peer-reviewed journal that releases issues weekly. In terms of scope or coverage, it accepts articles from all fields of science and technology. For this second example, CA, a cancer journal for clinicians, has quite a detailed description of its aims and scope found in the About section of their webpage. This is a very good practice. Now, why do we need a mission statement and aims and scope? As mentioned by Dr. Alvarez in the introduction, we need to be clear with what we want to do and why we do it. These statements will serve as our guide, right now, for making our respective journal proposals. At the time our journals are operational, these statements will serve as a guide for our whole operations. Also, these statements will serve as a guide for authors who will be publishing in our journals. Now for our last topic, naming our journals. What's in a name? What do we need to consider when thinking of a name for our journals? The journal name should be as informative as possible. It may indicate the scope. What subject or discipline does it cover, and whether it is a local, national, regional, or an international journal. Other journals also indicate the name of the institution or professional society it carries, or is connected with. You should also carefully consider how long your name would be appropriate. It would be costly to the reputation and consumption of the journal to have a name change after it has been well established. It is very helpful to have a striking name, or at least one that can easily be remembered. Lastly, it is also advantageous if, after satisfying all these considerations, you can also add a word or adjective that will highlight the strength or add value to your journal. Let's take this fictional journal name as example: Cancer Society's International Journal on Cancer Nanotechnology Research. The name indicates the society it is affiliated to. The scope is also clearly indicated. The term nanotechnology may also add value and indicate the strength of the journal. However, its name may be too long for it to be remembered easily, and its acronym, which is CSIJCNR, is the same. Unless it targets a very specific, small group of consumers or readers, the name has to be simplified. Can you think of a better name for this journal? Please write it on the space provided on your worksheet. I am C. I'm so glad you joined us in this write shop. Thank you.